How's it going? Thanks for checking out the very first episode of Wrestleverse. I'm Mike, I'm the host. And this first episode, we're going to do a watch along. Now, in other episodes, I'm going to have guests. We're going to have all kinds of cool stuff to talk about. And I'm going to do all kinds of different fantasy bookings or rankings, kind of some sort of Mount Rushmore kind of deal with all different types of things in pro wrestling. But this first episode, this one to kind of get the wheels turning, we're going to do a watch along. And I'm going to find WrestleMania 3 on Peacock is where I'm going to go to watch it. So I'm sure that's where a lot of people go to watch the old school wrestling stuff now anymore. So, yeah, find WrestleMania 3. So you find WrestleMania 3 on Peacock. We're going to fast forward all the way up to 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 5 seconds. And we're going to watch the Butch Reed and Koko B Ware match. So here we go. We're going to start it. So you can pause to find it right now and then come back. I'll do a quick countdown. So let's go ahead and do the countdown and let's get going. In 3, 2, 1, play. So you'll see the Titantron, I guess. Now the big screen, Butch Reed and Koko already in the ring. So yeah, here we go. And if you're watching this and you have the volume up on it, you're probably going to hear, well, not probably, I know you're going to hear Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura. I don't have a good Jesse Ventura impression. That's one thing I am going to do on here. I'm going to do really crappy impressions, and it's going to be great. But yeah, I don't have a good Jesse Ventura down in the Baja. You know, I know, you know. Here we go. They're locking up. Butch Reed and Koko B Ware. Some info about these guys. Koko B Ware in 1990 stood off against a debuting Undertaker. Koko was the first guy to suffer the tombstone. How's that for a little bit of history? But also, in 1993, on the very first episode of Raw, Koko B Ware went up against Yokozuna in the very first match on that Raw. And Koko lost. But hey, man, it's Yokozuna. You know, how you going to beat the guy? How you going to do it? But that's pretty cool. I thought that was really neat information on Koko B Ware. And if before Koko was with WWF, he was at Continental Wrestling Association, and I believe he was with the USWA somewhere in there, and then he had his WWF run. I remember Koko more from when he tagged with Owen Hart more than anything. So we're watching this here. Butch Reed's doing the heel work, man, beating down on Koko. Butch Reed he looks like a pro wrestler. Like if you look at that dude, like, hey man, that guy's a pro wrestler. But he's the heel in this one, and Butch Reed does a lot of great heel stuff. So he got kicked to the outside. Koko all pumped up. The fans are behind him. Slick out there outside with Butch. Slick's a cool dude too, man. But a little bit about Butch Reed, which I do want to go watch some of his old stuff too. He was from Mid-South. And then after he left WWF, he went to Crockett, which would later be WCW. But Butch Reed, this was his debut. Not his debut, but his pay-per-view debut in the WWF. And then, yeah, man, it's one of those, it's not a David versus Goliath, but the size difference, Butch is such a big dude compared to Koko. It's great. That's a cool shot. Got the bird from the Birdman, and then the action going on in the back. Got a headlock and a little jab to the throat there, man. And it's and that's why I said, I mean, Butch is the heel. He's doing great heel work here. To me, again, my word is not the gospel, but here we go. A little kick to the head. And I really like this match. It's not very long, but it's a great back and forth, you know, your heel and face, hero, villain kind of story. And like I said, Butch he's so much bigger than Koko, and he's using that to the advantage, and is telling the great story of he's beating down the good guy, you know. So this is good. I don't think this is very long. It whips him into the corner there. I do love the old wrestling stuff. The look, the ring, the old bow tie on the ref there. Koko's firing them up, throwing some shots, and a big drop kick. What we got here? Going a quick pin. No, sir. No, sir. But man, I do want to go look back at Butch Reed at some point in time, especially in Mid-South. I do like to go back and watch Mid-South. It's a lot of great stuff in there. Got a roll up. Is it going to happen? No, sir. Not this time. And Yeah, so Butch Reed would be cool to look back on. But Koko, man, he's been around forever. And I mean, everybody knows who Koko B. Ware is, right? Coming off the ropes, goes for a crossbody. Butch rolls it over and a handful of tights. That's the heel stuff I'm talking about. You don't see it. I mean, you see it now, but it's not. I don't think it's as. It just doesn't mean as much as it used to. I don't think, and which we've had the lines blurred. Which I'll talk about that at some point too. When you go to the Monday Night Wars of NWO, Steve Austin, kind of the anti-hero, the good and bad lines kind of blurred, and we didn't have good heel and face stuff anymore. So that's finishing up Slick's being chased out of the ring here. And we'll stop that match right there. Like I said, I mean, it's a quick match. It's a fun match. Really cool, right? So yeah, it was Butch Reed and Koko B. Ware, and I do definitely want to go check out some old Butch Reed stuff, and I'm sure we'll watch some Koko B. Ware stuff at some point in time too. But now we're moving on to the main event. Excuse me. Man, almost lost my voice on that one, brother. So let's see. Let's find this here. All right. So if you're like me, and I won't pay the extra few dollars for commercials, you'll pause it and then you'll run it. You only have to watch the commercials on Peacock and all that stuff. But we're going to fast forward to 2 hours and 44 minutes on the dot, and you'll see Hogan and Andre doing their stare down, and we'll do our countdown right now. 3, 2, 1, play. So here we go. Hogan and Andre staring each other down, brother. And this is, I mean, it's one of the iconic, there's 2 moments in this match that are synonymous and iconic with pro wrestling. One of them being that stare down. You have Hogan looking up at Andre. Andre's the big giant that can't be beat. And then Hogan goes for an early slam, like super early. When I watched this back again, I didn't remember that. And I was very surprised that they were trying to do that so early, I guess. And then, Andre's looking, he thinks he got a 3 count. He didn't. The Hulkster kicked out, dude. But anyway, this WrestleMania was on March 9th in 1987 at the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. A little info there. Now, this was Andre, who had been in an international attraction for many years up to this point. He had ruled WWF to this era here. And then Hulk Hogan, who was CWA, did WWF, went to New Japan, AWA, all that stuff. And this was after Rocky 3, I believe. It was Rocky 3, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Which Rocky was he in? It was Rocky 3. But this is after all that. This is the peak Hulkamania time. And you can tell because the fans, which we skipped the entrances, but when Andre and Bobby Heenan came out, they rode the cart. So this is when like the cart took them all the way up to the ring. So it's a super long runway. And then Hogan comes out finger pointing, dude, brother, prayers, dude, brother, dude, 24-inch python. And then and then he gets into the ring and the fans are just losing their minds. And then, but again, though, going back to when Andre was coming out, they're chucking trash at him. They hit Bobby Heenan a couple times with like some cups and stuff. But Hogan was definitely peak Hulkamania here. And this sends him over the top. This match did a lot of things for professional wrestling in itself. And this isn't the first time that these two have faced off. Andre, the big old slam. They did a showdown at Shea Stadium, which I'd like to go back and visit. And the roles were reversed. I believe Andre was the face and Hogan was the heel. That's something I would want to see because you don't see up to the NWO. You didn't see Hogan as a bad guy, if at all. I'm not sure about that, but I don't think he ever did except for that point. So there you go. That's all that in a nutshell. And I got talked about earlier, I love the old school look, the red, white, and blue ropes, the old WWF turnbuckles, and then the ring. The apron looks good. I would have rather, there's like a black apron on top of the blue apron. I would rather have that black apron all the way around and the silver lettering on top of that. The silver lettering looks great for WrestleMania 3. I pay attention to that stuff because I think it brings so much more to the show. But we all have our quirks, right? So yeah, where we got else here? What are we doing? We're in the corner, and Andre just looks like a big man. Obviously, he looks like a big man. He works like a big man. Sorry, I'm almost couldn't get that one. He works like a big man. This is to me your prototype big man working style. It's slow, it's methodical, everything means something. And which Andre is older here. This is towards the end of his in-ring. I don't know how many more years he had left at this point in the ring, but you can tell this is getting towards the end. He uses the ropes a lot. He kind of, but he's still just such a force that slow, taking your time, throws a big fist, throws a big kick. Well, not really a kick, but I think he tries a boot a couple times in this match. But like now, he's just working the corner, and Hogan slips out. Oh, he's hooking up, brother. Oh man, and he's so I think this is the bear hug spot, maybe. There's a spot in here which I think a bear hug's a pretty cool move, but for especially for a giant. But there's a big spot where it's just a bear hug for a good while. A good while. But yeah, I mean, it's great. You got Bobby Heenan there in the shot, which Heenan was one of the best. The brain, manager, commentator, did some in-ring stuff. I absolutely love Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I mean, just everything he did. He had the Heenan family, which was always synonymous with being heels, being bad guys. So that was always cool. What are we doing here? Hogan's coming off. Oh, there's the big boot. I knew there was one somewhere. I knew Andre threw a boot somewhere in this match. Oh man. And the crowd, it's definitely the crowd plays a big part of this match, particularly because this crowd's in the 80s, man, even 70s, 80s, early 90s, and then you had the sign era where everybody had like big signs and all that stuff. But the fans were in it, dude. And it was so cool. Here's the bear hug spot. This takes a while. This is a good, just kind of, is he going to tap out? Is Hogan going to go to sleep? Hogan. That's what I think Andre sounds like. I don't know if he sounds like that or not. But yeah, there's this bear hug. Referee's asking him. Hogan's reaching out, trying not to fade away. Oh, brother. That doesn't work for me, brother. And that's, I always find it so crazy that I'm trying to think how old Hogan is here. You look back, and I'll make fun of this forever. You look back like at the 80s, and even the 90s, and wrestlers are like, I don't know, late 20s, and they look like they're 50. Which John Tenta is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers ever. And if you don't know who John Tenta was, he was Earthquake, and then later on he was the Shark in WCW. But he was one of my favorites, and he looked like an old man at like 25 years old. I love it. I think it's great. It gives me hope. And I'm not, yeah, I'm 39, and I look younger than these dudes. But I always thought it was pretty funny. So here we go. We're still, like I said, man, this bear hug spot takes a while. He's wearing him down. Hogan's arms. Oh, is he gonna? Oh, he's starting to shake his knee. He's trying to Hulkster out of it, brother. Where and it's, I mean, and this is what I was talking about the crowd too. If you watch the crowd or if you're listening, you'll hear them start to really get behind Hogan here. And when he starts firing back, man, they just go nuts. They just go crazy. Oh, he's going to sleep. Oh man. Oh, is he out? The ref's going to check it. I do like the old school ref uniforms. Uniform? Do you call them uniforms? The old blue shirts with the bow ties and black pants. I think it's a cool look. It's a lot of. It looks like boxing in a way, but I mean later on I do like the stripes. When we excuse me, when we got to where referees wore stripes and they just had the patch on the kind of where the pocket would be. Here we go. Hogan's firing it back and a big right. Oh, come on, brother. You got another right. And it's just crazy to realize that in less than 10 years, about 9 years from this point, Hogan will revolutionize wrestling one more time. I don't know if revolutionize, that's a strong word, but he'll be a part of something massive in the pro wrestling world one more time. So here we go. Hogan's trying to do some shoulder blocks here, trying to get the big man down. This is man, look how much give are on those ropes. That was one thing too from back in the day. I was just talking about this with a buddy of mine. So when you watch these guys hit the ropes, especially here, the ropes have a ton of give. You watch them hit the ropes now, and they bounce right off of it. So I mean, it's night and day. Which I've never done it. I've never been in the ring. I don't know, if what's better, what's not, but aesthetically, it looks better when they can just bounce right off of them instead of almost going into the first row. So here we go. We're on the outside. Andre's still working. Oh, Hogan ducked out of the way. Andre face first into the post. This is a really cool spot too, that when I watch this again, I pre-watch these matches, guys. I'm not going to, I take notes. I'm not going to sit here and do this. I'm not going to shoot from the hip. But when I rewatch this, I really like this spot of taking up the mat on the outside, exposing the concrete, if you will. And I'm like, and it's always Hogan's like, he's trying to go for a pile driver or something. He's trying to do something to Andre, and Andre just gives him a back body drop. And you can say what you want. It's still a good spot. However, even though that ended a little different than there was a couple things that probably could have changed that would have made that spot look so much better, especially with that back body drop. So they're getting back in the ring. Like I was talking about before, you watch Andre, he kind of leans on stuff, right? And I'm not taking anything away from Andre the Giant. I'm just saying it's a very noticeable thing to me now. As a kid, I wouldn't even had a clue. He goes for the big boot. Oh, Hogan gets him with the forearm, and Andre goes down, and there's Bobby. See, this is what I mean. Bobby is so good. He's trying to get Andre back up. He's trying to give him some encouragement. That suit's awesome, though, by the way. Nice white suit with some gold trim. Hogan starting to pump it up. Fists are shaking, crowds screaming. You see all the Hogan foam fingers jumping around. Everybody's losing their mind. Here he goes, brother. All right, dude. So he goes for this is where the big slam. Right here. That is another. If you pause it there, you've seen that picture millions of times. There's the big leg drop. He's putting the Giant down. 1, 2, 3. And there's a lot to this match. Like I was just talking about, it had that spot where if you would have paused it when he picked him up to slammed him, people who probably don't even watch pro wrestling know that's Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, and they know that happened at WrestleMania. They may not know which one, but they know it happened at WrestleMania. So this is a huge deal. Andre the Giant loses. Hogan's still your champion. And I know Hogan's hit a lot of podcasts here lately, and you can always find interviews from him and stuff like that all over the place. But this really was a moment where Andre was kind of, okay, you're it now. So that happened here. And I don't know, I wasn't there, but I'm pretty sure if Andre didn't want this to happen, it wouldn't have happened. So yeah, there we go. That was the main event of WrestleMania 3, Hogan and Andre. I had a great time doing this. I plan to do a lot of content in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.